Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. And I got a question, an interesting question. I've never gotten this question before, or any variation of this question, but it is, what can you do to survive a recession as a developer, as a software developer? And this is from Tim. He says, being that it has been about 8 years since the last recession, and in theory we're due for another one soon, what are some tips for surviving a recession as a developer? Also, I noticed that you started your career around 2001, so you've been around for the dot-com bust and housing bubble collapse. Could you please comment on how you weathered those recessions and how to survive recessions in general? I have 2 years of experience, work with .NET and Angular. I work in the middle office stuff at a Wall Street bank. Okay, so Tim, here's the thing. This is going to be a short video, I think, because I've got the absolute smoking gun answer for how to survive a recession. Be the fucking best. When you're the fucking best, recession doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you're the top of your game, it doesn't matter what the economy's doing, right? You're still getting the job. You're having no problem. The people who have problems in a recession, okay, are the people at the bottom rung, or the middle rung, right? Those are the people that can't get jobs, that get wiped out, that have crap happen to them. So don't ever be at the average or below average, or even slightly above average. Be the best. If you're the best, a recession's not going to hurt you. All throughout the time when, and you can check out my software developer career story, okay, I've got a playlist on that. But all throughout the time when all this stuff happened, and I've been through plenty of ups and downs, and I could talk about real estate as well, it's a little bit different, but all throughout that time, I survived, and I didn't even feel it. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't even know that people were having a hard time getting a job. You know why? Because I wasn't having a hard time, and it really helped when I started my blog. You can check out my course. I've got a free course on how to create a blog to boost your career. You should definitely check that out, and you should start a blog if you haven't, because that's going to recession-proof you like nothing, right? Because you're in high demand, right? And when you're getting job offers every day from people that want to hire you because they've read your blog or because you've built your name or reputation in the industry, you don't care about the recession. It doesn't matter. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to affect you at all, but what I'm saying is that, like, because I consistently invested in my career and invested in myself and made sure that I was at the top of the game, and I wasn't always, right? When I first started my career, before the whole crash came down, I wasn't in the best condition, but I quickly realized that I needed to invest in myself, and I did. And when I did that, and I was at the top of my game, at one point I was, one of the top-ranked people on Top Coder and C++, I didn't have to worry. It didn't matter. I didn't even feel it. I didn't even know what was going on. So that's the biggest thing. And so the other thing, I'll give you one other piece of advice here, because it takes some time to become the best, but that's what you should be aiming for. So the other thing that you can do is have, and I encourage you to do this no matter what, is to have some reserve, right? Have some money set aside. So you should have at a minimum about 6 months worth of living expenses set aside in savings, so that if the crap does hit the fan, right, that you're going to be able to survive that and weather that out. Because I did a video on this. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's called like squeeze situations, or a squeeze situation. The biggest thing that hurts people is not getting kicked in the shin. What hurts people is getting kicked in the shin, and because they're kicked in the shin and their shins are weak, they double over, and then they get an uppercut to the face, and then they get laid out on the floor, and then they get stomped on. Okay, that's what happens when you have one weak spot, right? And so what I'm trying to say here is basically this, right? If you don't have money set aside, okay, if you don't have living expenses and recession hits, okay, and you're not at the top of your game, whatever or even if you are and you have trouble getting a job, okay, and then what happens is that you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have a paycheck anymore, you can't make your car payment. Fuck, right? Okay, so you can't make your car payment, what happens? Well, you lose your car. Now you don't have wheels. Now you can't even get a job at McDonald's. Great. So now what happens? Now you get unemployment, and now you see what I'm saying? Like this whole cascading things happen. Your girlfriend dumps you because you're a friggin' loser, because you don't have a car, and you can't even get a job at McDonald's, right? You can't get yourself out of the pit. You keep on going further and further. Now you get sick and you don't have health insurance because you couldn't afford that. You see what I'm saying? All this stuff. You get kicked out of your apartment. You're living on the street pretty much, and your life is ruined. So what happens is that this chain reaction, this cascading chain of events can happen in life if you don't have some kind of reserve. You always got to be like, live below your means and be prepared. Have a reserve set up so that you could live. You know, I could live for a long time. I mean, now I could live for the rest of my life without having to have income come in. But at one point when I was in my software development career, I had like 2 years worth of savings set. I was an entrepreneur. I didn't have a bunch of businesses. I didn't have, wasn't making a ridiculous amount of money, but I just lived so below my means. I slept on a friggin' mattress on the floor for a period of time because what was really important to me was to make sure that whatever happened, that I was taken care of, that this shit couldn't take me down, because I know that chain reaction of events is what really screws people, right? If you could weather a storm, you got to be able to weather the storm, right? So make sure that you've got a war chest so you can weather the storm. So 2 things: 1, be the best. 2, have a war chest. That's it. All right. That's all I got for you today. Good question. If you have a question for me, you can always email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos, and click the bell to make sure that you get every video. You get a little notification whenever a new video comes out. You don't have to watch them all, but at least you'll know that there's a new video out there, and you can check it out and see if it's good for you. All right. That's all I got for you today. Talk to you next time. Take care.